Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Happy Friday. How's everyone doing today? I think technically it is now Saturday, but if you live 2 or 1 time zone to the west, it is still Friday, I think. Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Guys, Bitcoin is chilling at $90,281.23. We got a little bit of a late night market update for y'all. I wasn't going to let today be the first day that I missed a stream. It's been over a year. Been streaming every single day for you guys. And that's not going to change anytime soon. Let's see. We've got 91090. Whoops. 91090. Now I'm going to try to leave these on here for a inconspicuous quantity of time. 89509. And we're going to see if we touch these at all. 92,229. Because during this entire time, every time we have a weekend, post ETFs, 88,371, we do nothing on Saturday. So, I suspect this tomorrow, Saturday, or today, depending on your time zone, we will stay within this range of 89,509 and 91,000 for Bitcoin specifically. But we'll see. That's why we put the points on the chart. As of right now, we're very, very sideways. People are kind of tweaking because they've finally noticed that Bitcoin has gone down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, and they're kind of freaking out. This right here is volatility. We like this. We don't like what has happened previously where that doesn't happen at all and everything's very boring and slow and boring and methodical and slow. I personally like the whipsaw moves. I'm not prepared for them right now, but I do like them. Over an extended period of time, I prefer moves like this because it's more tradable. Now, obviously right now it's just messy, but once people get used to it, they getting back into the swing of things. We've all kind of lost our mojo, I feel. No one really knows how to trade anymore because there's been no trade opportunities. And I feel like you can even see that on X, which is kind of funny. But I digress. Bitcoin dominance, 59.34%. Hopefully, this rejection of 59.5 continues, and it does look like pretty consistent with an M. I would love to break below 59 and start looking at a possibility of a little bit of altcoin relief, because right now alts have been getting absolutely decimated. We do have a red dot on the momentum wave and a bearish crossover the moving average and the RSI. We'll see if that results in anything. It is a percentage chart though, so those indicators might not mean exactly what they mean on the other charts. Ethereum is up 0.1% on the day, currently trading at 3,088. Not a big fan of this big fat red candle, but I do like that we held 3K. We actually didn't even touch 3K. So that was exciting. Let's see what this recovery entails. It's weird to see the moves and then nothing. I don't know if this is like institutions making these moves, like institutions, and then everything else, the little circle areas are all retail. Like the institution makes the move and then retail's left with whatever's left and nothing happens because there's no retail. It's a weird chart for sure. You can see the lack of volume, you can see the lack of price action, the lack of volatility, the lack of momentum, the lack of conviction, to be completely honest. Ever since it seems like ever since December 1st, that really seems like the telltale time when quantitative tightening ended. Now everyone's kind of in limbo. People are trying to wait and see if we're going to have a bull market or a bear market. I think that we're split down the middle. And no one can make up their mind. I think the bulls are just sitting on their hands and the bears are selling. And that's what's pushing the price down. The bulls, might have some dry powder, but we're not eager to deploy it. It's interesting for sure. Money flow is positive on ETH, so that's good. Volume could be a little bit better. RSI is dancing below the moving average. We do have a bongo cat present on the RSI. We'll see what that plays out to be. So far it's red. We got downside. But if we get a big monstrous pump, then I'm going to blame the Bongo Cat. We do look like our momentum wave might want to start to swing up. So we will see. Solana is up 0.34 since the daily close. We are, again, at the same exact point that we've been pretty much every stream, where we touch the lower trend line and then we talk about it because it's a neckline from an inverse head and shoulders that played out. Let's get the exact date on this. So I've talked about this probably 1,000 times. You guys are probably sick of hearing about it. The blue lines right here were kind of only pertained to this. I've extended them obviously over time, but we had this trend back here, and within that trend we eventually formed a beautiful inverse head and shoulder, the neckline being the purple line. We broke out of that, rejected our blue line right here, found support on our purple line, and then new all-time high for Solana. So all of these lines are very, very relevant, and the price has been confirming that relevancy. So we've kept these lines on the chart to reaffirm the price action. Volume is very, very, very vaguely gradually decreasing since this move back here. It's very faint, not really noticeable, not really worth our time. We have a confirmed green dot on Market Cipher back here. I don't know if that's played out technically. You know, jury's out, to be completely honest, but we are about to potentially get a bullish cross over the moving average and the RSI. Money flow is negative, and we got a red dot on our momentum wave pointing to the downside. But I will say, zooming out a little bit and kind of observing everything, I like the coiled up nature of the RSI and our momentum wave on Market Cipher. Just strictly for this, I don't know, just it's screaming strong move to me. Now, that does not always mean upside. That could very well be downside. But the last time we broke and held, so we lost our neckline here, and that resulted in a touch of the lower trend line. Right here, we broke below and we held our neckline, and that resulted in some upside. We're kind of doing the same thing right now. We're holding our neckline. Are we going to get a push back up? I think that's entirely possible, but the rest of the market has to cooperate in order for that to happen. There are some telltale signs that Solana specifically might be in for a decent push to the upside, which we'll go over in the news segment. For now, we'll move on to total 3. 862.74 billion. We're still sitting right above our 857 mark, which is great. As long as we don't break below our lower yellow trend line, I will continue to believe that we have a trend change here, which we've talked about on other charts, various other charts, but we had the same thing play out right here. We got a little descending wedge, if you want to call it that, and then our little choppy sideways breakout, and then our eventual like climb up. Is that what's going to play out right here? Maybe a little bit different, but yeah. Honestly, I don't mind the breakdown either. It sucks, but it might happen if we get to 800 billion on that touch to the downside. I much prefer the concept, though, of our choppy sideways breakout and then our eventual bullish explosion, maybe come January 2026. We'll have to see. We do have a unconfirmed green dot on Market Cipher right now. Money flow is still negative. Green dot on the momentum wave pointing to the upside. This is very coiled up as well, just like Solana. So I would not be surprised to see a move one direction or the other on this in the near future. ADA is up 0.27% on the day, currently trading at 40.98. This is very flat. Last 4-hour candles, last four 4-hour candles are very flat. We do have a green dot in the momentum wave, negative money flow, about to potentially get across over the moving average and the RSI. I'm still going to make the argument that we are retesting this breakout, but you could also try to sell me on the fugly head and shoulder pattern as well. If that is the case, an invalidation could be incredibly lucrative to the upside. I've talked about it a handful of times. Whenever I see head and shoulders or inverse head and shoulders invalidate, it's usually a violent invalidation. I don't know if I've ever seen a gentle invalidation of a head and shoulder move. So we'll see if this green dot comes in clutch. Snack is up 0.16% on the day, currently trading at 11,090. It's getting pretty sad, not gonna lie, getting pretty damn sad. I'm not sure what's happening, but I'm gonna hold on to my bags for forever. We do have a green dot way back here. Green dot on the momentum wave right here, unconfirmed green dot on market cipher. We'll see if that flips bullish. It is incredibly oversold on the momentum wave, but the RSI doesn't seem to care. We're kind of flatlined underneath the moving average. XRP is up 1.33% on the day, getting a nice bounce off of 196. A little fake out below $2. Hopefully it can hold above that. I believe that they had some bullish news today. Something about a banking license or something like that. We'll go over that in the news segment as well. Lunk is up 1.93% on the day. It was, I think, back here the other day we were looking. Maybe even a little bit further back. But Do Kwon's sentencing resulted in a little micro dump. I think leading up to it was a pump. And now people are selling the news. So that's how you trade events like that. This move is crazy. This move is actually insane. I think it was just, this was also strictly based on the news. Not financial advice one said at Drummer Yo. I like your little profile picture. The dollar sign is pretty cool. H bar is up 1.58% on the day, currently trading at 12.59. Getting a nice bounce off of 12.48. It's kind of crazy that it broke down this far though. We got a firm rejection at 14.018. Little double top rejection kind of situation right there. Tried to hold this trend line, newly established trend line. We got 1, 2, then 3 points of confluence, and then violently broke below that, only to find support at 12.48. Bullish crossover the moving average and the RSI happening before our eyes. Green dot of the momentum wave, negative money flow. Volume is also decreasing. Not sure what's happening with this, to be completely honest. It does not look great, but it doesn't look horrible either. You could probably sell this and then get rid of these other two trend lines, to be completely honest. Maybe that's the trend. Who knows? You know, there's only a handful of confluence points regardless. So, yeah. Not a whole lot going on. SWE is currently up 1.24% on the day, trading at 157.87. Getting a nice bounce off of 154.67. We've been kind of in this range between 169 and 154. So, we'll see if we break out of it, and if we do, which direction that ends up going. We got a nice little, yeah, just range establishment right here. So, upside target, I would like to see it break above 162, and then hopefully eventually 169. RSI, same as everything else right now, it seems. We are coiled up on the RSI, and thank you very much, Ben. And the momentum wave on market cipher. So we'll see where that goes. Drummer said, NFA, you made it. JJ, he just started trading crypto yesterday. Nice. Okay. I actually think that it's a great time to get in. Because if we are entering a bear market, you will have a ton of time to accumulate at the lows. If we're not, then you're about to see some crazy, crazy things happen in the charts. No matter what, I think it's a great time to enter. Especially if you're trading, the volatility is brilliant. People are freaking out right now because they're so used to like slow, boring, drawn out, boring moves. This right here, this whiplash volatility that we've been getting on Bitcoin especially, everyone's freaking out because they're not used to it. No one is used to any of this happening on the chart. So there's a ton of momentum to trade for sure. If you're looking for a place to trade, we do have referral links in the description. I personally like Bitunix. If you don't want to use a centralized exchange though, I would just look at whatever chain you're trying to trade on. There's Jupiter, Uniswap. You can probably just Google DEX for whatever chain you're on. So that's the preferred way. Definitely self-custody and trading on a decentralized exchange for sure. But if you want to go centralized with leverage, then maybe check out the referral links. Lunk, we went over HBAR, SWE, Ondo. Oof. Ondo's breaking the lower trend line. See, again, there's not enough confluence for me to really be worried about it, though. Because I could just as easily move it. Because we had 2 points of confluence before. Now there's maybe 2 or 3. Usually don't try to count the wicks, but if we did, then yeah, we just kind of have a little floor establishing right there. RSI fighting to get above the moving average. Green dot on the momentum wave pointing to the upside. We'll see what happens. I'm slowly, actually very quickly, not slowly at all, losing my voice. Arrow dancing in between 60 and 62. Let's see if we hold this. We broke inside, got a little fake out above, couldn't quite hold it. Found support at 60. So let's see if we stay above. Volume could be a little bit better. Volume is actually really awful on this. RSI struggling to get above the moving average. Look at how close all of these alts look like this. They're failing to get above, and then they can't even touch it. Picker Rick said late. I am very late. You are correct. So we'll see if we get across, but for now, we got green dots. We got a big fat cloud establishing itself underneath the center point. Flight fan said, what's up, guys? Can we look at Cookie Dow? Yes, we can. Cookie Dow. Cookie Dow. It's just cookie. I've looked at this before. What chart was it, though? HTX. Ourbit? I swear I've looked at this for you, and I put lines on the chart. Did I not? Maybe I'm crazy. Let's go to finance. Pickerick said, what's up, everyone? Just got off a 12.5-hour shift myself. Don't worry. Nice. Oh, there they are. Jeez. Okay. So you failed to hold this trend. That was a big, fat, ugly head and shoulders. And your target, it's actually quite a large target. I'm going to be a little bit frugal about it. Definitely hit your target, for sure. Well, I hate to say it, but something tells me this is going to keep bleeding. Cookie Dow 575. Do they have an unlock schedule, and is it like every single day? Yep, this is what's happening. They are inflating the supply like crazy. Yeah, unfortunately, this is probably going to continue to bleed. Luckily, it's slowing down. See the trajectory change? You had like a nice sharp angle, and then it's a little more shallow, but it's still increasing over time. Currently, yeah, it's only 63% circulating. Unfortunately, if they continue to print on the open market, this is probably just going to continue to decrease. It might get a bounce, though. You never know. I forget the name of the other one. I think it's Onyx Coin. Did the same thing, and then it looked like crap, and then it went bam, and then it looked like crap, and then it went bam, and it. Unfortunately, they don't ever look this big when they do pump like that. Like, it'll look like crap, and then it'll go bam, and then it'll look like crap, and then it'll make another one. You know, it's smaller every single time. Obviously, this one goes negative, which is impossible, but you get the point. It does look like it's flatlining right now, though. So again, if you're gonna take a chance on it for a trade, then you want to look at times like these. Stellar is down or up 0.13. We got our lower trend line that's kind of relevant. We'll see if it continues to be. So far, it looks decent. Gosh, that wick is crazy. That wick is so crazy. Let's see if we can get back above 25 cents. It's at 23.89 right now. RSI is doing the same thing as everything else. We got two bongo cats on the RSI, which is interesting. Green dot of the momentum wave, pointing to the upside. Negative money flow. We'll see what happens. I'm going to skip some. We're going to go to Avalanche. Is up 1.6% on the day. Currently trading at 13.31. Still playing around this. So this lower trend line on Avalanche is very, very important. Let me go to the daily and show you guys. You go all the way back to Avalanche's like inception in 2020. And this line is important. It's a legacy trend line. If we break below it and close below it, then it's probably going to get pretty dicey for Avalanche. Obviously, there's only 3 points of confluence, but this third point establishing itself on that exact line, it's very telling of some legacy support based on the growth trend of the asset. So you really, really, really want to hold this. With that being said, I like the consolidation a lot. This is very telltale consolidation. So let's see if Avalanche eventually gets a nice blast to the upside. Personally, don't see it going any lower. If it does, though, it's kind of a cut your losses kind of thing, in my opinion. That's a dangerous opinion to have. You're supposed to buy things when they look bad. That's how you make money. So don't jump ship just because I said something stupid. Chainlink is up 0.66% on the day, currently trading at 1372. Chainlink, another one that has a established trend in between 1441 and 1339. We'll see if we continue to hold this 1339 level. RSI slowly resetting itself. Look at this momentum wave is just dancing in the middle since December 5th. It's been a solid week of just the most mediocre flatline price action on Chainlink. So I expect a decent violent move relatively soon. Cheers, guys. Happy Friday. So glad it's Friday, dude. I had the longest work week of my life, I swear. Oh, feels amazing. Okay. So yeah, Chainlink volume looks good. Everything else looks great. Everybody knows Chainlink. They love it. It's a household name at this point. Pengu. Silver. Silver's a big one I want to talk about. My January 20th target was $62. We hit that early. I don't know why I had that target. I don't know what it was from, but that was the idea. January 20th? I don't know. I don't know what made me put that exact date there. But we kind of got above it. We became overbought on the 4-hour, which we talked about yesterday. Each time that's happened, we have gotten a pullback, regardless of whether or not it was a big pullback. We did get a pullback still. Pullback here. Pullback here. Pullback here. Now, in my opinion, after this, even if it's just one candle, I do think that it could continue to the upside. Is it going to? I have no idea. I'm not going to say that with confidence, but it's possible because the RSI is cooled off now on the 4-hour. Momentum wave, not quite. That could use a little more cooling off. We do have a confirmed red dot, which we got back here as well, and back here as well. So each time it becomes way too overbought, we get a little cooling off red dot kind of situation. Notice how much more time is spent on the upper half on market cipher than the lower half. Silver has been on a monstrous historic run, and I think somebody pointed out the other day that I think it might have been Tom Sellerscope or Jim. It was someone. They said silver has been in like a 45-year sideways kind of bear market situation. Everything else can take a backseat while silver takes a little run. So it is cool to see. To anybody that's heavily invested in silver, you kind of deserve it. You deserve the pump. Okay. Gold, we also talked about this resistance at 42.20. We had support, we had resistance. The support flipped into resistance, couldn't quite get above, still holding, and then you finally got your break. And you got a nice pump all the way up to 43.55-ish. And you pulled back a little bit right now. You're at 42.99. This wick on this red candle is indicative of some decent buy pressure, which is nice. We'll see if that continues to pump or if it's going to properly retrace now. I feel like it's got room to pump. I really do. If it is going to retrace, I think it's just going to be something like this, where it maintains a trend. So I'm actually going to take this and I'm going to scoot it. And that's going to be my trend. Because I have two lines on here for this being a potential flag. There's my frugal flag, which maybe is that, I don't know. And there's a big boy one. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Maybe it goes actually. Oh no, I don't know actually. I don't know. But we'll see how far it goes, if it continues to the upside or if it's actually going to have like a proper decent sized timeline pullback. For now, it looks pretty good. DXY continuing to get dumpy. Little baby recovery here, but nothing crazy. Green down in the momentum wave, or on market cipher as well. I don't know if that means anything, to be completely honest. Strategy, sideways, choppy, boring. 176.64. Still can't get above 186. That's a big deal. NASDAQ. Ooh, look at that. I should have scooted it. the NASDAQ pullback playing out perfectly with the fractal. Now, I mean, I'm going to scoot this now, I think. I think it's time to scoot. I'm going to scoot it. I guess I will leave it like that. That's probably best, right? Let's see if we get a recovery from here. Yeah, we could have a decent run going into December 30th, December 25th. We'll dump on Christmas. I don't know. S&P 500, also looking good. Pullback right on schedule. Fractal looking great. Ask Fractal 3.0. RIP 1.0 and 2.0. Press F in the chat to pay respects. Bitcoin chilling. Let's go through the news segment. Decent chunk of news today. Fed's Paulson says most of 2025's high inflation is being driven by trade tariffs. Fed Goldsby says he's projecting more rate cuts than the median for 2026. Gold surpassed $4,350. $140 million liquidated from the crypto market in the past 60 minutes. That was 14 hours ago. OCC grants conditional approval to Ripple, BitGo, Fidelity, Digital Assets, and Paxos to become national trust banks. That one's huge. Huge news. California and other U.S. states to sue the Trump administration for imposing a $100,000 fee on H-1B visa applications. Odds of crypto market structure legislation being signed into law before the end of this year fall to 7% on Polymarket. President Trump says interest rates should be 1% or lower next year. I think one of my favorite bets that I saw recently was somebody said to go to Polymarket and place a bet on the $2,000 tariff stimulus. They were like, place a $2,000 bet on the $2,000 tariff stimulus, saying, no, we're not going to receive a check. And if you don't receive a check, you'll make a crap ton of money. If you do receive a check, you'll lose your 2K bet, but you'll be reimbursed. So it's literally free money. So, I don't know. I thought it was a fun idea. I was like, dang, that's like hedging your bets like big time. That's big brain bet hedging for sure. President Trump says interest rates should be 1% or lower next year. Whale clips. This one's huge. I think, in my opinion, it's big. Marty Party posted 30 minutes ago. This was 5 hours ago. 3 whale buys of Solana off Coinbase totaling 280 million. Lunar Entity said the H-1B scenario was hilarious. I thought it was pretty funny as well, personally, but I don't know. Maybe I'm insensitive. Whale clips, another 510,000 Solana bought off Coinbase. That's huge. I don't know if they got another... I don't know. I have no idea why somebody would buy that much Solana. Besides the fact maybe they know that it's going to explode to the upside. That seems like a fair bet to me. Took the Fed 12 days to start quantitative easing after quantitative tightening. This was a good tweet. I thought it was just funny. What we're experiencing right now is not quite quantitative easing. The proper quantitative easing was way more money than the Fed's putting into the market right now. But it's like diet quantitative easing, we'll call it for now. It's still a funny tweet. They're like, we're ending quantitative tightening. And then they're like, we're kind of doing quantitative easing things very quickly after ending quantitative tightening. We think we broke something. Gold futures extend gains above $4,380 per ounce, now up 65% year to date. Gold is on the brink of a new record high. Very cool. Lunar Entity said insensitive. Nah, just further Ponzi propping of the tech pyramid. I actually know nothing about it. That's why I said insensitive, because I really don't know what it's even for. Education? I don't know. So somebody might be like, my uncle has that, and F you, because I'm ignorant about the situation, but it is funny to me. People have to pay to come to the country for the way that they're trying to get into the country. I don't know. Kobe essay later posted, X's revenue surged 18% year over year in the first 9 months of 2025, exceeding $2 billion. EBITDA reportedly surged 16%, with $752 million of revenue in the 3-month period ended September 30th. President Trump says he's leaning toward choosing either Fed Governor Kevin Warsh or White House Economic Advisor Kevin Hassett as next Fed chair. Crazy. Is the Kevin Warsh the guy that everyone thought it was going to be? No. So neither of these guys are the guy that people thought it was going to be. Interesting. President Trump is asked where he wants interest rates to be next year. His response, 1% and maybe lower than that. You don't own enough assets. President Trump says land strikes in Venezuela are starting. I'm not sure what that's going to do to the market, but I guess it's a thing that's happening. History. Satoshi Nakamoto made his final post and disappeared forever exactly 15 years ago today. Rest in peace if you are no longer with us. Regardless, thank you. Security. This one's crazy. And a PSA, I suppose. Zero base front-end hack led to over 270 users losing $240,000. Binance Wallet has blocked malicious domains and contracts after the attack. Make sure you guys are careful out there. This is why, personally, I don't trust leaving my money on centralized exchanges at all. And why, when I do trade on a centralized exchange, it is like between 1 and 5% of my portfolio at any given time. And 5% is cutting it close. That's a little too much for me at that point. A solo miner has successfully mined Bitcoin block 927474, earning 3.133 Bitcoin, worth about $284,000. That is so much friggin' money. I think I'm gonna get a lottery miner because I think they're really cool and fun. And you could randomly just make $1 million one day, I guess. Or at least $250,000. Alert, if Bitcoin reaches $96,000, more than $4.5 billion in short positions would be liquidated. Let's freaking go. Pith Network is launching monthly Pith buybacks using 33% of its DAO treasury as Pith Pro surpasses $1 million in APR. We are going to add Pith to the watch list because I like to say it, and they're making moves. I don't know actually if they're making moves, but I'm going to add them to the watch list regardless. Put them with our Avalanche Chainlink chunk. Yeah, I mean, clearly they're making moves to the downside. Maybe this is a bad idea. Look at this. That did not happen at all. It did. It looked good. It looked poised for like a nice bowl-shaped, and then it went, nope. It's actually a spoon. That's crazy. All right. Back to Bitcoin chilling. Yeah, I would be surprised if we did anything outside of this 89.5 to 91K range tomorrow. Drummer said small miner or big miner? I think the little desktop, what are they called? The little desktop lottery miners. Like the Bitunix ones. I don't know if they're like this big. They might be smaller for all I know. They look cool. They look cool. And again, if you hit the lottery and you win, that's sick. Picklebrick said, bro, I got Stranger Things ice cream cones. Ooh. My mom said the Stranger Things cereal was really good. Lunar Entity said Pith has an unlocked structure designed to bring returns to VCs, not investors. Give it a while. Okay, that's fair. I don't plan on buying any anytime soon, but they're integrating, so. And it's an Oracle, and right now everyone's relying on Chainlink, which is great for Chainlink, but I feel like it's asking for trouble. A little centralized, relying on one entity. Peter Schiff says gold and silver are surging on renewed quantitative easing, arguing that Bitcoin is not even running and should be put out to pasture. You know what's crazy? When Bitcoin was running, nobody was saying any bad things about gold and silver. It's just kind of silly to me that somebody devotes their entire life to like talking crap about something else. This is crazy. I thought this was super fun. Netflix is developing a comedy film titled One Attempt Remaining about a divorced couple scrambling to remember the password to a $35 million crypto wallet before it expires. Jennifer Garner will star in One Attempt Remaining, a new comedy feature directed by Kate Cannon, Blockers. Years after an acrimonious divorce, two exes discover that the cryptocurrency they won together on a cruise is now worth millions, but they've forgotten the password. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. I really do. Huge. The crypto market has lost 90 billion in an hour. That's pretty crazy. Let's actually go look. We look at total 3. I'm going to look at total crypto market cap, and then we'll look at total 2 as well. Yeah, look at that. Ooh, that is a monster candle. I mean, I don't even want to call it manipulation because it might not be. It might literally be just a lack of liquidity at this point. There's a lot of people buying, but there's a lot of people selling too. Bunch of people sold, bunch of people bought, sold, bought, sold, bought, sold. If it might literally be that simple, unfortunately. But you never know. Lunar Entity said they never wrote down the seed phrase. It says 1 attempt remaining, so I'm assuming it's a centralized thing, some kind of something. What's going to be funny is when the film comes out and it's going to be like, none of it's going to be the way that crypto works. Like you just said, they never wrote down the seed phrase. If you have your crypto in a cold wallet, you don't have a password. Like you can create a spending password with each iteration of the wallet that you create. But I don't think you need to know that at all to like open the wallet again elsewhere. So it's going to be funny to see how they frame that. Because if it's not a centralized exchange, then it's going to be a silly movie with incorrect data. Which is very Netflix, I feel. Japan might see its first rate increase in 11 months. People are kind of tripping about that. That might actually be why the market dropped today. Stock Money Lizards posted, price of both Bitcoin and altcoins has been ranging for a month now, and yet people feel devastated. The reason? These vertical price moves that liquidate both longs and shorts, while nothing is really happening. It's to a big extent market makers playing the liquidation game. Position yourself and stay calm. Exactly. All right. Next, we've got Jeremy posting, this is the 7-day Bitcoin chart. Disgusting price action. It is, I mean, personally, I think it's entertaining. But I don't disagree when people are freaked out because it is freaky. It's freaky to go from this slow burn, very chill, calm, like sandy shores to crazy tsunami-sized waves. It's like whiplash. This chart predicts Bitcoin is going to bottom at 40K sometime in 2026. Who's ready for 40K BTC? I don't know. I personally, I don't see that happening, but I could be completely wrong. If we are entering a bear market, that very well could be in the cards. Warren Buffett. This was great. Warren Buffett is quoted saying, the natural course of the government is to make the currency worth less over time. The value of $1 is decreasing every day, and there are more dollars being created every day. Because of this, assets like Bitcoin will keep going up. That's freaking insane. Watch Berkshire Hathaway buy Bitcoin. Watch it happen. Lunar Entity said U.S. bond market is in a historic pinch point. Long end has never been this close to causing total instability in U.S. sovereign debt. Does that mean that risk assets are going to go up or down? I guess that's my bottom line question. Bull Theory posted, what if the real alt season starts from January 2026? Look at this chart first. Others Dominance chart shows where altcoins usually bottom and where big alt cycles start. Right now, Others Dominance is sitting very close to the same base zones where it bottomed in the past. In 2017, before the big altcoin run, in 2020, before the 2021 alt season, MACD is flatlining, and RSI is at a historical bottom zone. Similar setups in the past appeared before multi-year expansions and alt dominance. This alone suggests altcoins are much closer to a bottom than a top. Now let's connect this with history. In September 2019, the Fed clearly said it would end quantitative tightening around the same time. Others dominance bottomed. In October 2019, the Fed started buying $60 billion per month in T-bills. By March 2020, this slowly turned into full quantitative easing. From that point, altcoins kept trending. The cycle topped into only in early 2022 when the Fed again hinted tightening. Now look at these last 4 years. Altcoins kept falling or staying weak even though Bitcoin went up strongly from its bottom. The reason was simple. The Fed was draining liquidity. Liquidity drain always hurts altcoins the most. But this phase is changing again. What's different now? The Fed has already started injecting liquidity again. T-bills buying starts now around $40 billion per month. This is not full QE yet, but liquidity support has clearly begun. Markets are also looking ahead. Why? Because the market is expecting major liquidity catalysts. Corporate tax cuts are being discussed, which improves earnings and boosts stock prices. Plans like a $2,000 dividend check are being talked about, another liquidity event. A new Fed chair is expected to, and markets see a more growth-focused approach. Even on rate cuts, the dot plot shows only 1 to 2 cuts. But remember, Powell directly said no rate cuts for December, but it happened anyway. That happened because the economy is not strong. And if the economy was healthy, the Fed would not be buying T-bills at all. This matters a lot for altcoins. Another signal, the Russell 2000 index just made a new high. Small caps usually move first when liquidity expectations improve. Can't do words today. So the big picture looks like this. Altcoins are near long-term base levels. Liquidity conditions have started to turn positive. Markets are pricing more liquidity ahead, not less. This is why it's very possible that altcoins are close to a bottom versus Bitcoin. The real alt season starts in 2026, not before. Similar to other cycles, we may see a good run in the next 6 to 12 months based on how economy improves. In normal case, we expect others' dominance will reach back to 12 to 13%, which gives a good alt season. In bull case, if others' dominance jumps towards 18 to 20% in 2026, we might see biggest alt season of history. In that phase, alts can outperform Bitcoin and fall less than Bitcoin during pullbacks because liquidity is improving. This isn't about hype or the 4-year cycle. It's about liquidity, and liquidity always reaches altcoins early. Hell yeah. That was a long post. I did not know how long that was going into it, but I'm glad we read it. Thank you guys for sticking with it. Let's go back to Bitcoin chilling. Lunar Entity said you need the currency to be worth yet another 67 to 80% less than it currently is. Also, that money would leave the bond market and exit into the real economy, causing an exodus from assets. So that's bad? I feel like the currency devaluing would be good, but causing an exodus from assets sounds bad. So would it just be a nothing burger? The dollar value decreases while nothing else moves? Cheers, guys. Okay. S&P 500 will soar to 7,700 next year, says Tom Lee. Very cool. I'm not sure I trust how much he says until ETH starts performing well. Silver is at its most overbought level in 45 years. That's pretty crazy. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF just formed its first death cross in history. Very cool. Michael Burry warns the U.S. might be headed towards full nationalization of the bond market. Thank you, Michael Burry. Gold on track for its highest closing price in history. That's crazy. Larry Fink is quoted saying, if every millionaire in the United States asked their financial advisor to get them 1 Bitcoin, there wouldn't be enough. That's pretty sick. That's true, though. This I was cracking up at. Make them think we're so back. Okay, now make them think it's over. Great. Now send everything up to a new high. Now crush their souls. All right, let's send in the same insanely bullish flow that looks too good to be true. Perfect. Now close out the entire position 5 minutes later for a minus 1% loss. Now chop into the close for the next 2 hours and leave them contemplating their life decisions for the entire weekend. This is literally what happens every single time. This post is brilliant. The Bronx Viking. I'm going to give him a follow because that shit was funny as hell. Coinfessions. We haven't had a good Coinfessions in a long time. This guy said, if I would have kept my 2017 portfolio and not touched it, I would have had about $500,000. But now I have $7,000 because I wanted to be a day trader. That sucks. That's what I mean when I say I would rather watch it all go to zero if we're entering a bear market than like try to take profits now, take my money, and what am I going to do with it right now? I'm not, like, there's not enough there for me to buy a house, so I'm just going to leave it there. If it skyrockets, great, then I look like a genius. If it goes to zero, oh well, I made a bad investment, I'll move on. I can build it again. It's not that hard. But if I take the money out and it skyrockets, I will never be able to live with myself. So, in my opinion, the risk reward is worth the risk. And last but not least, this one's big news in my opinion. I think this is sick. YouTube now allows US creators to receive payouts in crypto stablecoins. I thought that was freaking awesome. I'm going to set this up, actually, if I can, because I love that. And that's it for the news segment. Bitcoin, $90,301.05. It has managed to perfectly position itself in the center of our range between 89.5 and 91,090. Let's do a portfolio update. The 1K to 10K Grok portfolio currently down 510 or 51%. None of these assets are in the green. Aptos is currently down 73. Fetch is down 69. Nice. Render is down 58. Auto's down 55. Proppy's down 54. ADA's down 48. Shib is down 47. Near is down 46. Doge is down 44. And Sol is down 21. All right. Meme coin portfolio. Lunar Entity said market go up, but hold on to your butt in 2 years. Okay, I like it. Okay. Actually, there's more to this. I'm sorry. Pickerick's at 40K. I don't know if that's true or not, but Pickerick, hopefully not. Lunar Entity said, if reshoring occurs, the U.S. becomes a manufacturer. Your problem is the currency. The value of the dollar will then be compared in service value to the value of the yuan. You would need the currency to be worth less. Okay, I read that one. It's a complicated economic war. You also have stablecoins introducing access to the dollar globally, igniting fears of sovereign control being undetermined. This topic is far too much text. Sorry. Oh, no, don't worry about it. Market go up, but hold on to your butt in 2 years. It is no accident that Europe is terrified of Tether and Circle. Name a stablecoin that isn't denominated in USD. The dollar is going to become even more of a king. Oh, 100%. And what's crazy is those assets are basically over-collateralized. They're backed more than 1-to-1. Which cracks me up that like banks are like, well, Tether's credit rating got reduced. What are you talking about? Banks have like zero reserves. Fractional reserve became like non-existent reserve. And they're allowed to have none of your money. Meanwhile, Tether exists with more than 1-to-1. They are over-collateralized. So if there's like 20 billion Tether, there's $20 billion worth of commercial paper, precious metals, bonds, all this stuff sitting in a vault somewhere that Tether owns. Or more. There's more US dollar value of that stuff, actually, because they're over collateralized. It's goofy as hell to me. Why they all, like, everybody frowns upon these stable coins, and it literally just comes from a place of a lack of confidence almost in themselves. It's crazy. It's a crazy world we live in. And it's funny to watch it all fall apart. Lunar Entity said Tether waited for that 110K area to dump Bitcoin for gold. Absolutely godlike maneuver. Made JPM look pathetic. Honestly, with all the Tether FUD from like 5 years ago, it makes me think that that was coordinated by the banks, or maybe even the CIA for all I know. It's no, because why would they want the dollar to go down? It just seems very bank-like to me. And then Tether becoming like the largest purchaser of U.S. debt is also hilarious. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of poetic to watch it all, like I said, to watch it all fall apart. And for Tether to kind of be there to pick up the pieces and be like, remember me? How you doing? It's like the guy at the reunion. Everybody used to pick on them, and they're like Elon Musk now. Everyone's like, what the hell? Oh my God? That's you? Oh my God. Lunar Entity said 5 years ago they didn't have the collateral and banks knew it. They kept funding regulators to try for an audit. I just remember the FUD, dude. The FUD was crazy. People were like, Tether's going to collapse. It's going to be the black swan that kills crypto, and nothing happened. Because they'd been talking about that for like a decade. Meme coin portfolio currently down $589, 58.9%. None of these assets are in the green either. Gauge Chat is down $166. Snack is down 151. Pepe is down 109. Doge is down 84, and Whiff is down 82. Then the narrative portfolio, my favorite and the most stable. In case you guys are curious, this portfolio is made up of one meme coin, one artificial intelligence coin, one decentralized physical infrastructure coin, one real world asset coin, and one gaming coin. It is absolutely killing it. We have one asset in the green here. We are currently down $201, which is 42%. Nope, 41.2%. Or 40, I don't know. It's 40%. It's down 40%. Like I said, one asset's in the green, the rest are in the red. Fetch is currently down 60. The chain is down 58. Mana is down 48. Pepe is down 38. And Tau is up 0.89. And then last but not least, the perfect entry portfolio currently down 425, 42.5%. None of these assets are in the green either. Starting from the bottom, Render is down 62, Avalanche is down 61, Pith is down 58, nope, 59, Graph is down 55, Sui is down 49, Ondo's down 49, Crow's down 36, Soul is down 27, ETH is down 21, and Link is down 10. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin is chilling. Lunar Entity said, banks do not like these stablecoin issuers because they are much closer to true digital financialization of assets, an arms race that will pick up for the financial sector soon. Paxos is also being slept on. Both of them, Paxos and Tether, were under-collateralized in that 2020-2021 era. Thanks to current rise to 100K, they are now rivaling banks in physical gold. Yeah, I think that's so sick. All right. What do we got? Let's see if there's any good confessions to read. Anonymous crypto confessions. I'm not sure I'll be able to run it back up. I'm 22, made more than 1 million trading crypto during the last 12 months. At all-time high, I had close to 2 million. Feel sick after such a drawdown. Not sure I'll be able to run it back up. Why it feels so bad. While in perspective, there's good progress, I just feel like I can't risk anymore and I don't have actual skill. Rather, it was all just gambling and luck. I don't know, man. Being 22, I'm assuming they still have more than 1 million. And they're just not close to 2 million. That seems like a weird perspective, if I'm being completely honest. If I had 1 million, I'd be happy. Take 500K out, play with the other 500K. Bro, I lost it all after making a shit ton of money. F crypto. I feel that one. I've been wrapped up in all of the guru nonsense. I've been in and out of crypto since 2017. I've never had a big return, and that's my fault. I've been wrapped up in all of the guru nonsense trying to find the next best strategy. Only recently I've realized that all of that's just noise. It can be simplified. My biggest fear is just having a huge return and selling too early. I almost don't want to have the chance to retire my family because I fear I'll miss it by selling too soon and living my whole life with that regret. Yeah, there's definitely a nuance to it for sure. You got to be able to prepare yourself mentally for like 100%. Lunar Entity said, when you get lucky, take your assets to an actual financial advisor and seek safe havens. Yeah, I mean, I would buy a house. That's all I want is a freaking house. This guy said, I feel miserable. Haven't made any money in this space in a while. Trying to finish college, and I have absolutely nothing to my name. I feel like a lot of the people are like just getting started in life, and we almost get like this dopamine hit from crypto. Like we have this little bit of success, 2020, 2021, we're like, oh my gosh, I'm a genius. And then 2022, you can't get that again. 2023, you're really struggling. 2024, nothing's happening. 2025, you should have just put it all in Bitcoin and sat in it, and you didn't. And you're like, I hate to use this analogy, but it is kind of like a drug addict. We're just chasing that high, and that high is all-time highs and just like FU price action, crazy pumps where everyone can just throw money at whatever and make a crap ton of money. Like, you look like a genius all the time. We can't get that. So we're sitting here tweaking. Lunar Lunar Entity said you're probably going to get one more shot at a house before it comes absurdly overpriced. Commercial market imploding means retail market is close behind. DEI was being used to prop up that market. Yeah. Yep. I think worst case scenario, I'll inherit one. Which is morbid to think about, but it is what it is. The dollar is about to take another beating, though, which means housing will correlate and rocket higher after that bust. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to execute soon because rates have been lowered. And I don't know. Everyone's like, oh, the market's going to crash for like the past 15 years, and it hasn't happened. I don't think it's ever going to happen. So I'm not waiting. I'd rather buy now and have to refinance later if it does crash. It is what it is. Cheers again. Happy Friday, guys. Let's do a couple more coin questions. Some of these are just sad, but they're real. I wasted my youth and money playing video games and chasing girls instead of buying Bitcoin. I feel that one for sure. Crypto has given me a new outlook on life. Crypto changed my life. I had 4K and a beater Acura to my name. Honestly, 4K is more than most people have. And an Acura? Acura is a pretty decent car. After entering at the top of 2021 in November, I took it seriously and grinded the entire bear. Soaked up as much knowledge as I could. Since then, I've gotten hired on for a project that steadily pays me. That's huge. Being on payroll. People that have... and I feel bad saying it this way, but some people in crypto, they either quit too soon or they make money in crypto, don't have a job, and then that money slowly goes away. If you have a job, like a regular paying job, and you don't live above your main means, and you're just steadily investing, you're comfortable, man. Like, you have to have that. It goes back to the John Goodman thing, doing things from a position of FU. Obviously, we don't have a house and $250K worth of property or whatever, but if you have a job, that is, at least in today's day and age, that your position of FU. If you have a job, steady income, some savings, the dry powder, a good working car, that's really all you need. That's your safe haven. That is your position of FU. If you have that, from that place forward, you can do whatever the hell you want with your investments because it's money you can afford to lose. Since that steadily pays me, I've made friends from all over the world, and I've multiplied that 4K many times over. It's given me a new outlook on life and has opened doors that I could have never imagined. I am forever grateful for my experience here. Hell yeah. This one's not depressing. That one's awesome. I love that one. In 2013, I logged onto my Coinbase account and my balance unexpectedly increased by 27 Bitcoin, approximately 2K at the time. I transferred it all out to my cold wallet and closed the account. I saved those funds for over a decade. That's freaking awesome. Damn, 27 Bitcoin. What a freaking legend. I trusted my online friend to let me gamble on his account, deposited 120K, all my money, then he logged me out and blocked me everywhere. Still can't stop thinking about it. Why? Why would you do that? Were you trying to evade taxes or something? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. GG Crypto. It was fun while it lasted. And since early 2017, hit some highs and some lows along the way, but never quit and ran my portfolio to 1.2 million December 2024. As of current, my portfolio is worth almost nothing, and I owe the IRS 25K. Altcoin season became extraction season, masked by Bitcoin price action. I'm now in my early 30s with all of my assets completely wiped out. Good games, crypto. It was fun while it lasted. Damn, that was crazy. That's what I mean. Like, hindsight is 2020. I'm not trying to be a dick, but if I get $1 million, I'm taking 500K out right away. If I can't make money off of the other 500K in the market, then I shouldn't be in the market to begin with. 500K out the market. That is mine, tangible cash. I don't care if it's devaluing, whatever. The point of this, in my opinion, for me, is to become more financially stable, more financially free. And that requires me to cash out. My heart literally got an electric shock when I got liquidated for my first 1K. I lost my mind and took multiple loans only to lose it all revenge trading. Now I'm down 30K. I don't know when I'll break even. That's crazy. That's another thing. You gotta make sure you're not trying to increase your leverage to make it all back faster. That never works. If you're this kind of person, you probably shouldn't touch leverage at all. I hate myself for never going with my gut and always listening to others. That's another problem. You can take information from others and make your own decision based on that information. Multiple sources, whatever you got to do. Lunar Entity said the 50-year mortgage tells you where the dollar is going. It's a meme, but it's a warning. When M2 went up 44%, guess what else went up 44%? Housing. Yeah. Drummer said, do you trade prop firms? I do not. I've heard a couple of people talk about that, though. I don't know anything about it. Tell me about it. I lost my entire life savings, mom's family savings. What? 1.5 years of salary, borrowed money from friends, banks, private lenders because of overtrading, and everyone is chasing me now daily for money. I have learnt. What? I have learnt. Really, you haven't. From my mistakes, and I still believe I can make it big trading crypto and become first multi-millionaire in my family. This mindset, man. I feel bad for these people. I really do. If you have like heavy gambling tendencies, you need to stay away from anything remotely close to trading. I took a $20,000 loan from my parents, managed to get it to 50, and they asked for it back. I said I needed more time as I wanted to hit 100K. Well, I lost it all now, and I don't know how to tell them. Damn. That sucks. That's greed right there. That is perfect example of greed. That sucks so bad. You had 30K just in free money right there. You could have given your parents the 20. You could have had the 30 for yourself to trade and do with whatever you want. Learner Entity said, only thing I'm watching for is when institutions start demanding products or services. Out of crypto? What do you mean? I shipped Bitcoin at all-time highs to friends and family because I was convinced it was going to keep going up. I feel that one too. I mean, I guess I didn't shill it to my friends and family, but I felt like Bitcoin was going to keep going up. My first bull run saw me $880,000 up at one point. I got into high yield DeFi and thought I was invincible. My crypto is now worth 25K. I mean, 25K still. Drummer said basically you pay for an account and trade with their money. It's at 1099. Yeah, that's what I've heard about. I don't know the intricacies, but I think I would just rather have my stupid money. I like my spot bags. My spot bags, again, are my place of FU. But when it comes to leverage, I'm cool with just the exchange junk, because I don't think it's going to be anything crazy anyways. Maybe I'll look into it one day. Let's see. My first, yep, I literally wanked off to my portfolio. I'm not at that stage yet. I'm not a masochist. 2 months ago, my girlfriend broke up with me, and I fell into a deep depression. I thought I'd finally found the one. I started trading without a plan and lost all my money in the last weeks. Now I'm faced with a decision of what to do, continue trading or give up. I don't know. You gotta make that decision. Sold 3 Bitcoin at 115K. 4-year cycle or not, FOMO top or not, generational wealth has been secured. Hell yeah. I don't think I have the stones to close to close to all in on another Bitcoin drawdown. I'll never have a return as great as this. I see that, I think, is the wrong mindset. I do agree, take your 3 Bitcoin profits at 115K. I think that's a genius move. Like I said, if I ever get to near that much money, I'm taking a good chunk of it out. However, if I have, what is that, 345? Yeah, $345,000, and Bitcoin dropped now 30-40%, I'm putting like 20K in. And then if it drops more, I'll put another 20K in. I would never, ever, ever put the full amount back in. Hell no. I'm keeping like 60 or 80% of that money for myself. Again, if you cannot take 20 or 30% or even 5 or 10% and build it back up again, why are you in the market? Because if you can't do it with that small amount, then you're not going to be able to do it with the big amount. It's not going to make a difference. None of this is financial advice. It's just my opinion. Drummer said, yep, I read that. Lunar Entity said high yield DeFi noob trap brutal. Yeah, that is crazy. Drummer said most props you got to go through an evaluation phase, but some have instant funding. Benefit you is you can lose a 50K account, but you only paid $60. Really? That doesn't make sense to me. Is that so? That is like leverage, right? That's interesting. It just reminds me of leverage. Oh, the next one's really morbid. I'm not going to read that one. Just wanted to learn about crypto and create a venture-backed Ponzi scheme. Is that too much to ask? What? I sold 3 Bored Ape Yacht Club for 0.6 ETH each, and I reinvested everything in Zed Run. Oh no, that sucks so bad. I feel like the NFT space got decimated. Like it's nothing but rubble and ash now, and I don't know if it's ever gonna come back, and that makes me feel really bad. I was gonna propose to my girl next year, thought I'd be smart and double my wedding savings on bear chain farming with pole yield. Now the year ending and the chart's bleeding, I really don't know what to do. You can't do that. You can't do that, man. There's so many times in the past where I like had rent money and I was like, that'd be cool if I could like trade it and make more money. And that's it. That's where it starts and stops, is just that thought. Never acted on it. Never even like put the money anywhere to be able to do that. I just paid rent. But the thought did cross my mind. So it makes sense that people think that way. You just gotta chill, man. You gotta chill. Lunar Entity said props hate degens. Same reason Forex got so hawkish on clients. Example, 84% of Forex accounts blow up to crypto's 81%. Damn. That's kind of funny. Bitcoin crypto was supposed to be about freedoms for everyone. I'm tired of the scammers, grifters, manipulators, and lowlives that make this place so lame. WAGME was cringe, but at least you felt like crypto was kind of a community of oddballs and quirky folks last cycle. I'd take the days of starting a HFSP train, I don't know what that means, on some Bitcoin critics post who declared Bitcoin dead for the millionth time over this shit any day. Yeah, it was still PvP, but it felt different. I agree. I don't know if it's different this time. I think most of those people just left. I think they're gone. And the people that are left are pissy because their bags are effed. There's a lot of fake ass people and LARPs who talk about freedom and then log onto crypto Twitter and tell the gays and trans people they're not welcome. My gay brother, Jesus, killed himself because of people like that. F you if you're into crypto and talk about how important our freedoms are and then tell certain people they're not welcome here just for existing as they are. Bitcoin crypto was supposed to be about freedoms for everyone, regardless of who you are. Yeah, I think that all just depends on who you hang out with, honestly. I was up 500K. I got a Discord job that had stupid me download software that gave them access. Oh no. Got drained. Lost dad to cancer around the same time, alone in the world, but I guess I can come back up. That's the right mindset. That's crazy to go through all that crap. You gotta be careful downloading stuff, man. I actually have a completely separate device for my crypto. I don't do anything on it except for my crypto stuff. It's literally just old MacBook. It's not that hard. You gotta be really nerdy about it. People think that I'm a little paranoid. I don't really care. I'd rather be the paranoid guy than get wrecked. But him saying, I guess I can come back up, is the right mindset to have, because you already did that. You already built that up. It's not hard to do it again. It sucks mentally. Mentally, it's going to be hard, but physically, you've seen how easy it can be. Hulk's casting couch said NFTs show ownership. Your car and house notes will be NFTs. Same for healthcare info, etc., etc. Right, but I don't know if the art thing, I don't know if NFTs that we experienced in 2020, 2021 will ever be like that ever again. I hope they will. I hope that makes a comeback in the future. I think that honestly, that space was more fun than any other space I'd ever been in. That was where I experienced like my first crypto scavenger hunt and stuff. Won like hundreds, thousands of dollars. It was so much fun, dude. I miss it. I really do. The people there are great. They're still around. Yeah, and I just bought stuff for the art. And I came out on top, honestly. I didn't make a ton of money. I didn't make a ton of moves, you know. I probably only bought like 10, 15 projects, but I flipped every single one of them for double my money. Drummer said, if you ever see my stream, I'm mostly trading props. CME is coming out with a crypto prop early next year. Drummer pointed out Hulk's Casting Couch, your name. That is a great name. That really is. Cheers, guys, to Hulk's Casting Couch. Hulk Smash. I got more than one phone and more than one computer for a reason. You aren't paranoid, you're smart. Thank you. I got laughed at one time. I got laughed at because I was joking, but I was like, people, because I didn't think that people actually did this. I was like, don't keep your seed phrase digitally. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard of. Don't keep it in a Word doc. Don't keep it in a screenshot. Don't keep it in your notes app on your phone. And one of the guys was like, well, I mean, that's not that big of a deal. And guess what? He had a project. He was a developer, for like a lead guy, a head for a project. And their account got hacked. I wonder why. So, dumbass, that's what you get. Sorry. Hulk's Casting Couch said, not the art thing. No, the art thing is done, but the underlying tech is that it shows ownership. Oh, 100%. I think the underlying tech is great. For sure. But yeah, I hope that the art thing makes a comeback in the future, even if it's just small niche. Like, what art is supposed to be? I think it definitely got way blown up, way overhyped. There was definitely like NFTs went through a tulip bubble for sure. But I do hope that the niche kind of makes a comeback. It can be like a little cult following thing. I genuinely enjoyed the 2020, 2021 NFT space. It was great. All right, let's do a couple more. I'm in crypto since 2016, and I finally breached the magical 1 million mark in 2024. What is that? FF to now, and I've lost, I've lost it all trying to front run Altseason several times. What? Oh my gosh. That was going so good, I should have stopped reading. I've been in crypto since 2017. I peaked at 6 figures twice and round tripped. I am now currently minus 150K in personal loan debt. In 2025, I would have made more money IRL had I not ever discovered crypto. Damn. You gotta know when to quit, man. You gotta know when to quit. 6 figures. Get out, man. Lunar Entity said the art was an excellent experiment to test the tech. It was. It actually was. I don't even know. There's no other way to really compare it. It just was a great way for everything to play out. Built communities and stuff. Hulk's Casting Couch said, I met a guy who stamped his keys into copper with a computer connected to the internet. Doesn't believe me. He was dumb and lost it. Now he uses exchanges for storage like a clown. Oh, man. That's crazy. I know a good buddy of mine actually hand stamps his into metal, which I think is great. That's a brilliant idea because you can hide that. Or you can separate them. And you can like have a code to like put them in order. I don't know. There's so many different ways. And you never have to go that hard. Just write it down on a couple pieces of paper. Put it in a couple of safes, different locations. Hey Ma, can I put this safe in your closet? You know, or just get a fireproof container, whatever, you know. I don't know. It doesn't have to be Fort Knox, but it definitely needs to be a little more secure than your notes app. Come on. I had 8 Bitcoin in 2017, transferred 3 to an emergency wallet made by me and my ex. In 2022, I lost access, and when I asked my ex about the keys, she didn't respond. I've not heard from her since. The remaining Bitcoin I sold for 22K during the FTX collapse. Dang, I wonder if he has the address. I wonder. She totally took it. There's no way she didn't peace out with that money. Are you kidding me? They've been offline since 2018. I once helped someone on TradingView in the early days when crypto communities congregated there. They gifted me 0.1 BTC for helping them out. And that small gesture allowed me to go degen into altcoins in 2015-16 and made some bank. That still carries me to this day. They've been offline since 2018. Dang. Well, maybe they made bank and pieced out. Hand stamped smart, computer connected to the internet, stamped dumb. Oh, 100%. For sure. Honestly, like you're fishing around, you find a little packet with just, you know, what is it, 18, 22 words? You're like, well, I know what this is. I had an uncle. my Uncle Billy, he passed away from like a brain aneurysm. It was crazy. I don't know where. He was the coolest dude. He had this sick gaming PC. I got his PC. I got his TV, and the family like divvied up all of his stuff. And years later, I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, Uncle Billy totally had Bitcoin, and it was so long ago that it's probably worth a shit ton of money now. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, damn, because I wasn't there when they were cleaning out, his house and stuff. But they just threw all the paper away, I'm sure. I'm like, fuck, there's probably a seed phrase written down somewhere. Son of a bitch. Because he did all that stuff, dude. Uncle Billy was a badass. He'd always talk about his computer. Like, I hand-built my computer. And, everyone kind of like brushed it off because nobody cared about computers in the family. And I always listened to him. And me and him used to stay up really late and get drunk and stuff. And he'd tell me about it. And then I saw it, and it's a freaking beast, dude. This thing's, I have it in a closet. The case is probably like a $500, $600 computer case. It's huge, dude. It's a big motherfucker. It's old now, but it's pretty sick. Rest in peace, Uncle Billy. All right, next we've got, I am so down bad this cycle. I arbitraged IRL friends in the New York City mayor election with prediction markets. What? That's crazy. I'm going to have an easier life because of XRP. That's awesome, dude. I feel like the XRP people like legit deserve the win. I really do. I'm down to my last $200 and I don't know what to do no more. I think that's another thing. People look at it with the wrong mindset, man. They're like, this is my last way of, getting any kind of money ever. It's never got to be that existential. You got to relax about it. You got to be a little more patient. Everything will work out. Been here since the start of 2017. Out of all the bull runs, 2025 has been the worst. Everything is still net down 90%. Some even actually went to zero. Any new projects that launch instantly nuke to nothing. Retail is coming, right? Yeah, retail's gone. Retail's 1000% gone. 3 days on the job, and I was explicitly told just ignore the users in the Discord. All they do is complain. Family's full of crypto people from 2011, 13, 14. I'm the only one who's still poor. That sucks so bad. Maybe everyone else is just good at faking it. About 40,000 BNB in 2017. As someone on Reddit said, the house never loses. Invest in the house. It made sense to me, and here we are. Damn. 40,000 BNB. I don't even want to know how much that is. That's an insane amount of money. 40,000. Oh my God. 40,000 times 887. Let's just assume they sold half. 20,000 times 887. That's $17,740,000. Damn. Hindsight is 2020, man. Hindsight is 2020. Ooh. Hulk's casting couch said I lost 3 million Doge, lost a computer. It was on running to a train one day. Couldn't find my paper wallet. Bought it back when Bitcoin was $30. Damn, that's crazy. That's pretty awesome. Well, this was fun. I appreciate you guys for hopping on. I know it was a super duper late one. This is not the norm. Anyone who's new here, if you guys subscribe, I would appreciate it. Smash the like button. I do daily live streams, and it's usually for the daily close. I try to get around like 6:20 p.m. EST, and we do a daily close contest where you could win up to $300. And all you got to do is participate in the chat. You don't have to pay money or join a group or any bullcrap like that. It's hard to win, but it's easy to play. And it's kind of like a lottery. If you nail the first 5 digits, you win $20. If you nail all 7, which includes the change, sometimes it's 8 when Bitcoin's over 100K. But if you nail all the digits, then you win $300. Nobody's won the 300 yet, but we've had a couple of $20 winners. But it's a ton of fun. If you guys are around tomorrow, definitely join. We'll be here for sure on time. Anyways, as always, when Bitcoin starts to do anything crazy, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. I appreciate you guys for sticking around. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Friday and good night.